It's the Property Talk brought to you by National Housing and Construction, giving you the homes that are built to last. Now, every property, whether it's an office, commercial space, residential space, it is not a really refreshing place to live at until you've got green around it. Now, in the US, it's different. Every property, technically, green must be around it. These are majorly in LA, that is in California. Now, joining me on the stage to share a little much more about the area of landscaping, Julio, it's good to have you on the show. I went to the same school, that's university, with this guy. I just never thought actually you'd be an expert in this area. How long have you done the landscaping thing?
I studied horticulture.
Horticulture?
Yes, at university. We were the pioneers.
Yeah.
So horticulture is divided into several branches, but I took up the ornamental horticulture. That's landscaping.
So ornamental now that's a new phrase I didn't know. Yeah. Ornamental horticulture.
Yes.
So what is that supposed to be exactly?
If you look at horticulture, most people associate horticulture with vegetables, fruits, vines. But there's also ornamental horticulture, which deals with ornamental plants, roses, plants, just ornamental, just for the look, and some are medicinal, some are...
Just to remind you, for those of you that are watching, actually, one of the hugest elements that we've added hugely in the Homes and Property Expo in November is we're going to have a lot of gardeners and landscapers that can help you understand which plants, which flowers. How important is landscaping before we even go any further?
The importance of landscaping is very obvious. Landscaping adds value to a property to almost 30 to 40%. There's a project we did for a client. He bought this property for $400,000 US. The contract and everything, we added in 200,000, and he sold it for 1.1 million.
What caused that?
You see, what caused that was the garden, basically. The garden was nice. Whoever came around, fine. You see, there's some things you look on a house, you can't change much. The paint, what can look nice, but something that will keep a person yearning really will be the garden. Because you see, God made man and put him in a garden. That means man is designed to innately stay in a garden. That's why people pay lots of money to go to places, go to these nice places, to just enjoy nature. The garden brings nature closer.
What are some of those things you've worked on that gives you the basis, or that give you the basis for saying these are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to planning for your landscape?
You said you traveled, you saw very good gardens out there, but you move around and you don't see very many of those good gardens around here. Why? Some of the problems we have, that's why we don't have very good gardens, is one, people don't plan for landscaping. Somebody builds a mansion of 1.5 billion and he expects to spend 2 million on landscaping. You see, for you to have a nice garden, it needs to start with the architect. When you're planning for your house, bring the landscape designer on board, bring the interior design on board, so that they all combine their expertise.
Hold on a minute. The focus is on the structure of the house. Then pretty much the interior designing and the exterior designing, which is the landscaping, is an afterthought.
Afterthought, which is a problem. Why? You see, if you have this space, you can have, let's say, the basic plot people have, 50 by 100 feet, and you want it to look nice. You know, if the landscaper was early on involved, you'd restrict the architecture so that the place is balanced. Because you find somebody, you have 20 decimals and you build a house which is 19 decimals. So the house has covered the whole space, and then when the person wants to enter the house, they open the gate and they open the garage door. He just moves in. You can't enjoy such a place. But if the place is balanced well, you have a nice lush green. You see, now people are we are doing a lot of outdoor entertaining, much more. People have garden parties at their places. You have a gazebo. You sit in there in the evening. You see, after going through the jam, the hustle and bustle of Kampala, you need to go back and relax. How do you do that? Get back at your nice done garden, sit in there and enjoy. It makes the place more habitable.
For instance, are there particular plants that are recommended for homes? Then the grass right now, we've been introduced to the artificial grass. How good is it? How bad is it?
For instance, grass. You see, people, just like cars, give you an example. When somebody buys a car, there are people who are really meticulous. They will maintain it good and keep it really nice. If you can find a very old car, it's really looking good. There are people who actually love gardens. Somebody would, after 10 years, you look at their lawn, it's like they've just used scissors for mowing it. And then others, you put in a lot of money into the garden, and then they just leave it and it gets totally wasted. You see, we always say God has blessed us with good nature in Uganda for gardens. But you see, that is not accurate. It's good for agriculture because you see, you plant your maize and then during the wet season it grows. But for a garden, you want it to look nice from January to December. They have introduced new trends like irrigation. A garden is like a baby. You need to look after it.
You guys are really expensive. What would be a low-cost budget, averagely, the lowest that somebody can actually prepare for to have a decent landscape?
See, now, you see in a garden, you have the hardscaping. That means that is the parking, things like that. And now a decent parking space per square meter, you're looking at around 60,000, 50,000. So for a garden you can go for even as low as 2 million.
Also tell us, in landscaping, there's we've been told there's some interesting plants that chase away mosquitoes, plants that chase away snakes. Share with us briefly before we get to have a final word from you on landscape.
Yeah, there are good plants that you can put in your place and chase away snakes, like tobacco.
Tobacco, isn't that the one that they smoke?
Oh yeah, tobacco, just a plant, yes. You can hide it in the background. There are so many. The list is really endless.
More details on what plants you can look out for, courtesy of that article in Homex magazine and on the Homex website for you to get more details. Your final thoughts to everybody that is watching right now on the pivotal role and importance of landscaping in our homes.
Yeah, landscaping is very important. You need to plan for it because you see, to have a very nice garden, you have to introduce elements. Like for instance, you can put music in the garden. When you sit in your gazebo, you're winding down, you have nice music. You can do the irrigation system. To make a nice garden, the lighting has to be on point. All those things take money and take time, and you have to sequence them right. So planning is very pivotal. Then another thing, get the right people. The people who are really very brilliant, they do very good design. So not everyone can do a good garden. So people come and say, to call a compound, and then you just get your hard-earned money and give this person. For us, what we do, we first make it a concept. We give you a 3D design for the space so that we can come to the same level. So I say, I think I don't like this. Can you adjust this? Plan for it. 2, get the right people. And they're very many.
When it comes to landscaping, it's been nice having you on the show. Cheers. Looking
Thanks.
forward to have you at the expo.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.